Just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400. Matt, Jack, Brian, we're back. I know it's been a little while. Live show on Monday. Appreciate everybody who hopped in. Underwhelming game, obviously, for the national championship, but nonetheless, we're back. Action-packed episode, uninterrupted sports conversation coming your way for this whole show. Like I said, been a little while since we had a full podcast, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer show, cover a lot more topics. Obviously, some big things going on in the world of sports. The Masters, I'm obviously pumped up for. Got my golf shirt on today. Going to get into everything in the world of sports in this one, as well as winners and losers, which has been a huge, huge success here at Views from Section 400. Always check out our socials, Instagram, Twitter. We post all of the, winners and losers that we have. And we also do the Michael of the Week, so check that out as well. Without further ado, no reason to drag out the intro longer than it needs to be. Winners and losers, my favorite guy to start with, Brian, as always, because he's always in the best mood. Brian, who won the week and who lost it?
I appreciate the introduction, as always. Sometimes you say I'm in a great mood, sometimes you say I'm in a bad mood. But
keep you on your toes.
So my winner is going to be Giancarlo Stanton, and I guess this could also be a loser for the Miami Marlins. But so the Yankees played the Marlins this week, and they showed their home run leaders since the year 2017. Now, let me remind you, the last year Giancarlo Stanton played on the Miami Marlins was 2017. He was at the top of the list with 59. The next guy, Brian Anderson, at 57, he is now on the Milwaukee Brewers. So since 2017, two guys that have not been on the Marlins lead their team in home runs. Now, Jazz Chisholm has 55. He'll probably get there. But it's been 7 years since Giancarlo Stanton was a Marlin. And nobody has surpassed him. They made the playoffs a couple years ago.
Wait, he's got the most, Giancarlo's still the Marlins leader?
He hit 59 in 2017. And since 2017, nobody has hit more.
What?
Yeah.
That's a wild stat.
It's unbelievable.
The only time they were good was when they hired the lady as the GM, and then they fired her. And then now they're, 2-9 to start the year?
It started out 0-8, 0-9.
Marlins are a poverty franchise. They are the worst franchise in baseball. I mean, everybody's talking about Oakland and the Athletics and what the hell's going on over there, sell the team. But Miami's just been under the radar bad you said since 2017. It started before Stanton left. I mean, they've been bad for a decade.
Dude, some guy posted a Twitter thread that turned into a YouTube video. They're selling $52 seats for all-you-can-eat food. And I watched his YouTube video. There were like 4 people that took advantage of the deal. And it was on a weekend. $52 for all you can eat. You'd think that would sell out like every game.
You get to go watch the game as well. They ain't going to be doing that in Philly anytime soon, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, they got rid of Dollar Dog Day because too many people were taking advantage of that deal.
Yeah, now it's BOGO. Buy one, get one. Still a ripoff.
My loser of the week, I guess it won't be the Miami Marlins. It'll be me. I am on jury duty. So from the hours of 9 to 5, my phone is about as useful as the Giants' offensive line. It's not useful at all. And for me, if you know me, about 30% of my life is spent on Twitter scrolling through sports stories. So it's a little tough in my life right now. But first world problems, I'll get over it.
How much longer are you on jury duty for?
4 more weeks.
4 more weeks? So they've selected you for the case?
It's a grand jury, so it's multiple cases, and I'm there till May 10th.
You should have said something racist.
Should have said something ridiculous where they had no way of selecting you.
Yeah,
just tell them you have an imaginary friend and they let you go, dude. They don't want somebody like that on there.
Yeah, I get really bad anxiety and I'm going to, even if the guy's guilty, I'm going to say he's innocent because I can't do that. And my brain, dude, you would have been out of there. You would have been gone.
Yeah, I definitely fucked that up. I should have come up with something better, but it is what it is. The government's giving me my metro to get there and back, so at least I have that.
That's all you get out of it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a stipend, but it's not really anything.
Wow, that's nuts. Anyway, Jack, what do you got for the winner and loser of the week, dude?
Yeah, coming back to the sports world, the Jacksonville Jaguars are our winners this week. You want to know why? Josh Allen, the real Josh Allen, gets locked up to the long term. We love it. He's just over half the money is guaranteed. I believe 4 years, 160. He's gotten like 88 guaranteed. I'm happy for him, man. He's elite. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's, AD, Chris Jones, TJ Watt, Miles Garrett, caliber, but he is a step right under them, definitely up there with the elite pass rushers in this league. With Trayvon Walker on the other side, Eric Armstead coming in the middle now, we're going to have a nice defensive line, man. It's going to be scary. Last week, my winner was the Texans, and after signing Stephon Diggs, that whole offense that they're going to have over there, I don't care what receivers they have if C.J. Stroud can't throw the ball. If Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, Armstead, if they're in that backfield, within a couple seconds, Stroud's got nowhere to go, nothing to do with the ball. We're going to win some football games. So that D-line is scary. We're going to hopefully do something in the draft, grabbing a cornerback with either the first or second round pick. But I'm excited, very happy that Josh Allen got signed to a long-term deal. Couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, you called him the real Josh Allen. This might be the first time the Jaguars' Josh Allen is having a better time, at least in his football life, than the other Josh Allen. Two very different spectrums right now.
Yeah, since the game where the real Josh Allen kicked the quarterback Josh Allen's ass in 2021, that was an elite performance. Had an interception on him, sack on him, and a fumble recovery off of him. So shout out the real Josh Allen.
Now that he's paid, has the financial security, is he going to keep it up? Because you were kind of listing those elite players, and I think he was right there in that list like he was a premier guy. We'll see if he can keep it up now that he got paid.
And Matt, that is what I'm always concerned about with the big contracts. And the reason I'm excited about this one, he's getting just over half of it guaranteed. So, there's a little wiggle room in there. I've seen some contracts where, some guys are getting 60 to 80% of it guaranteed, almost 100% of it guaranteed. Can't have that if you want them to stay consistent and dominant and motivated. So I think just giving them right over half, I think it was like 55, 56%, perfect number. I think he's going to stay consistent, stay at it, and good time to be a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Yeah, good contract for all parties.
This is the part where I'm supposed to give you a loser, but I'm going to give you another winner, okay? It's just going to happen. There's no losers in this situation here. John Calipari, however you want to say it, don't care. He's going to the Razorbacks, man. Woo pig. Good for them. It's a win for their program. They've been pretty irrelevant in SEC basketball as of late. And he's a big-time coach. He's definitely going to bring some recruits over there. And, you might be saying, is this a loss for Kentucky? It's really not. They needed to move on from him. He's had a great run there. Amazing recruits come through, some championships won. But it was time for him to get out the door. I think Kentucky's going to be better for it. Arkansas will definitely be better for it. And overall, good time to be in SEC basketball. It's only growing and getting better.
Yeah, I'll give you a loser of the week from that situation. We always talk about the A&M fans being cultists and weirdos, but in Calipari's introductory press conference, the Arkansas fans calling the pigs with their woo suey, whatever, that was straight out of a horror movie. The lights went out. And they did it like 4 times back to back. Like one, it's like, all right, whatever. They did it like 4 or 5 times with the lights out and their phone cameras. It was scary.
Dude, as an SEC outsider, the whole fucking conference is a cult. You got South Carolina screaming Cox, Auburn screaming War Eagle, fucking Arkansas Woo Pig. Everyone's got their little fucking cult slang going on down there. So it's just the whole conference.
I mean, yeah, but War Eagle's like a greeting. It's the same thing as like the We Are with Penn State. We're not like
pride, like this is the whole thing, dude.
We're not doing songs and like fucking rituals out there. It's definitely Mississippi State has a bad one too with the Cowbells, but it's Arkansas and it's
Texas A&M, dude. They're like a fucking military cult.
Yeah, Arkansas and A&M are definitely the two biggest culprits of that. And then there's like Vanderbilt that just doesn't care about sports.
Vanderbilt they're irrelevant in sports. Maybe they have like a good women's soccer team. I don't know.
Their baseball team used to be good.
Baseball is solid. That's true. But either way, dude, SEC conference is got some cult vibes going on there, but whatever. It's in the South, and we'll leave it at that.
It just means more.
It just means more, I guess, which is why they got all that going on. But I like the double winner, Jack. Definitely nice little switch up for everybody. So props to you for pulling that out of the hat. I'll keep it back to where we kind of run and go with the winner and loser. Winner of the week, teased at it in the open. It's Masters week, so golf fans would be my winner. But Tiger Woods is back playing in a major, and he's back out there. It's great to see the guy. Shot a birdie on his first hole today, was plus 800 on FanDuel, if anybody knew about that. So anybody who cashed in on that, props to you. But yeah, winner of the week, golf fans for the Masters this week. It is Masters week. Can't wait to see you puts on the green jacket Sunday. Love the tournaments when everybody's together. I hate the Live and PGA, split them up. No, you need to have all the best guys on one course playing, competing. Makes for a way better viewing experience, at least for the fans. And I'm sure the guys like the competition as well. So yeah, winner of the week, golf fans, Masters, and Tiger Woods back. I just hope he makes it through the whole tournament, man, and he doesn't withdraw after round 2. That's all I got to say about that.
When Tiger hasn't withdrawn, I think he's made the cut 23 straight Masters. So as long as he's not hurt.
And obviously, he's going for a lot of juice here, man. Isn't there some kind of record, or he ties Jack Nicklaus for 6 Masters if he was somehow able to win this one? I know that's the competition is extremely, extremely good in this field. Smaller field, only about 89 guys in it. So biggest thing, if he can just not withdraw, that'll be a headline and a story in itself.
Yeah, no, he tied Nicklaus with 6 Masters wins. And speaking of Nicklaus, shout out. He did the tee shot today to open up the tournament. He looked like he could go out there and shoot a par.
Yeah, he might need somebody to bend down and put the ball on the tee for him, but other than that, he can still get out there and swing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, so that was electric, man. But yeah, Masters weekend is always awesome. We'll have golf on. I'll have golf on all weekend. It's going to be awesome. And definitely for that final round, that's usually where you see guys crumble and blow the lead and somebody come out of nowhere and win it. So that'll be a fun Sunday afternoon. Definitely tune into that. But loser of the week, it kind of unfolded earlier in the week, but I'm going to go with MLB pitchers. And you might say, why? Well, they've been okay this year, but the bigger issue is the injuries. We've lost Spencer Strider, Shane Bieber, Yuri Perez, and a plethora of other guys in an already under depth or under rostered, or I don't even know how to word it, but just there's not a lot of great ace pitchers out there. There are, but there aren't. And to lose, I mean, Spencer Strider is arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Certainly runs for most strikeouts every year. He's the strikeout king every year. And we lost him. And it's all these, unilateral, elbow, this and that. And it's like, dude, it's a growing issue. These guys are getting hurt every year. Spencer Strider, 25 years old? He might have to have Tommy John surgery again.
It's almost like the human body is not supposed to throw 99 miles per hour.
102 miles an hour.
It's getting to the point now where everyone's chasing velocity. And I think we're going to start seeing it now where maybe you dial it back 93, 94, and you might not tear your elbow.
Well, it used to be like, you're whipping your arm on the curveball and slider, you throw your arm out. But now it's like you throw it out, you get the nerve damage from trying to sling it as hard as you can.
Yeah, Brian, you're seeing low 90s from good high school pitchers nowadays. So if you're asking an MLB pitcher to limit themselves to 94, 95, these MLB hitters are going to be putting up moonshots left and right. Brian, I thought what you were going to say originally is it's almost like the human arm isn't supposed to throw a baseball. It's not. It's one of the only unnatural motions in sports is throwing a baseball, and the wear and tear it causes on your elbow, on your shoulder, it catches up to you, man. It really does. And one thing that I am a little bit curious about is I feel like it's either we're just getting stronger and can't keep up, where guys are throwing 105 miles an hour and the body just can't keep up anymore. We've hit our limit, like you said, Brian, or maybe it's all these restrictions that they're putting in nowadays. With the speeding up the pitch time. Guys like to take a few extra seconds in between pitches, catch a breath. Now they got to speed it up. They're on a timer, not on their own flow. I wonder if that's playing a factor into these guys getting hurt.
Yeah, speeding up with the pitch clock definitely could factor into it, but the overall of just having to gun the ball 99 miles an hour, the pins and needles these guys are feeling in their elbows is it's becoming more and more of an issue.
I mean, yeah, they've been training to throw harder and make their arms stronger, but the days of rest haven't changed. I mean, they throw for shorter lengths during games now, but in terms of like giving your body recovery between starts, it's all been the same. So
it's still 5 days off, and then you're back to throwing again.
Yeah, and you're putting more stress on your arm. So
and you could say guys go shorter innings, which is true. Like guys aren't going deep into games anymore, but they're still well into their pitch counts. Like you'll see guys in the fourth inning getting yanked, but they're still at 80 plus up towards 90 pitches. So yeah, they might be going shorter innings, but they're still putting that, usage on their arms.
Look, all I'm going to say is Cy Young never had to get Tommy John. And that man pitched every inning of every game.
Yep.
He did. He sure did. But, I mean, yeah, that's the winners and losers of the week. Obviously, a huge segment we do here every week. Make sure you check out the socials for a recap. Check out all the other winners and losers of the week. And stay tuned next week when we give out some more. But let's move it on to the underwhelming college basketball Final Four weekend, and then obviously wrapped up with the national championship, which started out looking like it was going to be an absolute heater and an awesome game, and then just UConn grew like a 6-point lead at halftime, and Purdue didn't come out the same. So,
now that I think about it, I could have made Alabama my loser of the week. Even though they made the Final Four, their run was a whole hell of a lot less impressive than Auburn's Final Four run. You can look at the matchups. You can look at how competitive the games were, the margin of victory, who we had to play on our run, who they had to play on their run. When it came down to it, they made the Final Four just as us. How we got bounced out is on the referee blowing a double dribble call and Kyle Guy doing some absolute BS. How they lost is they got freaking spanked. Matt, I know you said that you thought it was pretty close in the beginning. You said you thought Alabama had a shot. I think that's a fair assessment for the first few minutes of the game. But UConn had this in the bag. I was saying it for months. I'm not really that proud of it. Like you said the other day, Matt, it's not that hard to pick UConn. But I told you guys a couple months, everything is pointing at UConn to go back to back. And shit, thanks for proving me right, UConn. Thanks for bouncing Bama out in a very disgusting fashion.
Alabama's run was Mickey Mouse, but to give them a little bit of a break, it's hard to beat that Auburn run. I mean, they went through UNC, Kansas, Kentucky. It took down a bunch of blue bloods. But to Alabama's credit, they shot 8 for 11 in the first half from deep. They played one of their best games, and they were losing at halftime. So it's just they played well. It's just UConn was just unstoppable. You needed UConn to play like their C game for anyone to beat them in this tournament. And they always played at least their B game, and that was enough.
I think even a C game for UConn still might not have been enough to beat them.
Yeah, would have kept Bama in it, but yeah, UConn still.
Yeah, they probably still get it.
Yeah, in terms of the whole Final Four and the Natty, it kind of went exactly as we all expected, right? I mean, ED kind of ate up DJ Burns, and that ruined NC State. We said Alabama could play well, but UConn just better. And then in the Natty, Edey played well, but he tired himself out, and over him, they just didn't have it to keep up with UConn. So it was pretty on brand.
What did it say? Edey scored. Was it in the national championship or for the whole tournament where he scored like almost 70% of all Purdue's points? Was that for the title game or for the whole tournament? Honestly, it was probably both.
Probably both.
Probably the whole tournament, yeah.
Which is a nuts stat.
I think he set the record for most points in a NCAA tournament. He had almost 200. But yeah, it was him, and then Braden Smith sometimes showed up, but he threw up a lot of bricks in the Natty. I don't think Fletcher Loyer scored in the national championship. So Just
A
not
lot of
enough.
Cincinnati for him. But
Yeah, which was surprising after he came up big in the Final Four game. Hopefully, someone else wins it next year because I'm getting sick of UConn and Dan Hurley. I wonder if he leaves, maybe he'll take up the University of Kentucky coaching job. He's definitely created a powerhouse over there in Connecticut and in East End.
he's probably not going anywhere.
I mean, like you said after the game, UConn's owned basketball for the last 20 years, and it's hard to say they haven't.
Yeah, he's going to be just an insufferable figure for probably a long time. And they're going to be very good for probably a long time. So, not looking forward to that as a Big East guy. And Nova being an absolute shambles.
Yeah, I saw something about Jay Wright potentially becoming the next head coach of the University of Kentucky.
Which would be wild, and he would lose a lot of respect from a lot of people if he did that. But I don't see it happening. But look, man, it's the world. If you flash money in front of somebody, see what happens. I don't see him going down to Kentucky and doing that. Because he had it all laid out. He had the powerhouse at Nova. He just was done.
Yeah,
I think the NIL probably hurt him too.
I think Jay Wright's enjoying his time as just an analyst and taking a back seat. I think
He already has the money. He got the huge contracts from Nova. Like, he was making huge money. Made the school a lot of money. Probably got some very nice booster bonuses after those national championships and just being consistently relevant for so long. Now he has the money to sit on. Probably gets a pretty penny for being an analyst as well. I mean, he gets something he can live on very, very comfortably. So I think, like Brian just said, he's cool with being an analyst, but you never know, man. You never know. I mean, guys do shit that you never thought would happen ever, and they go ahead and do it. So, it would be sickening to me if he came and did that. Like, I would just say, bro, go back to Nova. But he is also on the board of directors at Villanova, or something involved with basketball still. So that would be nuts. That would be nuts for him to pull that off.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that. But I mean, if we want to go right into it, I mean, now that we're in the off season, you mentioned Calipari and the UK job. There was a flight today on a flight tracker from Auburn, Alabama to Lexington, Kentucky.
Don't care.
So what? You saying Bruce Pearl?
It might be just.
That is what he's saying, and we're not going to comment on that.
Are you saying one of the players is going to transfer?
No, Bruce.
He could have taken an interview.
It might just be an interview, Jack. We don't have to worry yet.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about this until we see more news, Brian. We're not talking about flight trackers and potential interviews. Let's see some real news first.
Mommy, you guys would be thrilled to get a new coach.
I wouldn't hate it as much as Jack would.
Bruce is a good coach, but like I think Brian touched on, and I completely agree, I don't know if he's the guy that's going to take you to the championship level.
Look, bring in an X's and O's guys as an assistant that can do that when push comes to shove and we need it. But that man, I wouldn't want to have anybody else as Auburn's head coach right now.
I think you're blinded by the bias, man.
I probably am.
But we'll see. We'll see. We're just speculating on a flight tracker right now. So
it's all
we can pump the brakes. I mean, you did mention it, Brian. Auburn transfers and the transfer portal just being an absolute shit show. When do we start seeing this fall into place? Like, when do guys – because, they're going to want to be in their summer workouts. And then as the end of summer rolls around, that next season, comes real quick. So
within the next couple months, we'll see a lot of changes. I know Tucker DeVries is a big Drake guy. One of my favorite players is with West Virginia now. So he goes to a bigger school, but West Virginia's program's in shambles. So I don't know about that one. But yeah, speaking of Auburn, the whole backcourt got gutted. Trey Donaldson entered the portal. Aiden Holloway entered the portal. The good news, Jack, is we're getting a 5-star kid from Jersey. So I'm sure you'll love him, Tashad Pettiford.
Or the new 5-star coming in as a freshman?
Yeah, the new 5-star coming in is from Jersey City.
Okay.
Hell yeah. He's going to be a dog, all right? We don't even want Aiden. Holloway was a freshman too, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a huge sophomore to have.
He could still come back, I guess.
Yeah, I just look, especially when you talk about a Jersey point guard coming in. I don't really care about Aiden anymore. It makes me dislike him that much more. I mean, he's a great shooter. I cannot take that away from him, but he doesn't play with a whole lot of gusto. Sharif Cooper, another undersized Auburn guard, very undersized, just like Aiden, made his name, being able to shoot, but also being able to finish around the rim and getting in between the trees and finishing at the rim. So I never saw that at Aiden. Very one-dimensional player. Really, all he can do is shoot the ball. He also had a couple turnover issues at different points in the season. So I don't really care that he's gone. Give me the New Jersey guy, the dog, the 5-star. I'm excited for that.
I didn't see Auburn got JP or JP Pegues, the guy from Furman.
They haven't confirmed it, but like on 247 Sports, they have like the tracker, and Auburn's extremely high on there. So
He's the guy who hit the game winner against Virginia when Furman won that first round game, dude. That would be a huge veteran guy to get.
yeah, him and Pettiford would create a great backcourt.
Yeah, that would be. I love that, dude. JP Pegues, dude. That guy's electric.
Yeah, and Furman's a good program. So
Huge Furman Paladin guy.
last real news we have with the transfer portal for now, FAU got gutted.
Got it. Well, Dusty May left.
Yeah, and then Vlad followed him to Michigan. Janelle Davis also in the portal, which again wouldn't be a bad pickup for Auburn.
Nah, but I don't know that you guys would like you like him on FAU. I don't know if you would like he can be an irritating player to watch if he's on your team you really want to win.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like KD Johnson?
Yeah, like he'll like just like, the way he plays, his play style is very lazy, takes bad shots.
We don't like that.
Doesn't play great defense.
We don't like bad shots.
He seems like he has a switch where he'll be trying then not trying. And maybe that's not the case, but it comes off that way when he plays. So I don't know if you guys, as an outside fan, like, oh yeah, you love him, but like if he was on your team, I don't know if and the SEC is a world of difference than the American, It's a lot different when, playing Tulsa compared to then having to go play Ole Miss.
True.
So we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting transfer portal. Like, dude, now it's like free agency. So it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts, but that's college basketball, man. Views from Section 400 college basketball season comes to a close. Electric season, awesome opening season, but I don't know about you guys. I'm coming absolutely dialed in. I'm not picking with the heart. There's not going to be another McNeese State fuck up to say I'm coming and dialed in next year.
You say that now.
I'll leave it there. Yeah, let's see how well this video ages.
Shout out to the women's tournament. They had about 5 million more viewers for their championship game than the men did. Now, that probably has something to do with the men having West Coast bye for some reason, starting at 9:20, and also not airing their championship game on CBS. It was only TBS and True TV when the women was a Sunday afternoon on ABC and ESPN. But still, it's good for. I mean, their whole tournament, the viewership was up. So women's basketball.
Look, if they keep bringing talents like that into the game and through the game, I mean, it's going to keep growing and growing. Like, that's what people want to see. They want to see that rivalry. They want to see a Caitlin Clark. They, even though people rip on it on social media, people, we want the personalities. People rip on Angel Reese. People don't like Caitlin Clark. People don't like these people because why? Because they have personalities. And people tend to, if you got a big personality, people are not going to like it. So it grew their game for sure.
I gotta say that the women's tournament was great. I mean, the teams that were supposed to be there, they were there. We got to see South Carolina, the best team all season, go up against Caitlin Clark, the best player all season. So electric game. I was pretty happy to see South Carolina get it done, complete the perfect season, being a South Carolina guy myself. But outside of that, little disappointed in the men's tournament. Shout out the women, but the men be better next year.
Yeah, definitely was a lackluster tournament for sure. Hopefully this was just an off year and next year will be an awesome tournament is all I can really say there.
People were shitting on One Shining Moment enough. It was a bad tournament. They had certain clips to work with, and they did. It was a great video. Makes me tear up every time. I will not take One Shining Moment slander.
Like what?
I don't know what you're talking about. NBA.
Yeah.
You've never
What the
wait,
fuck?
wait. You don't know One Shining Moment? It's the best
No.
the best video of the sports calendar. After every tournament, they have the 3-minute montage with the One Shining Moment song.
And it's like all like the tournament's clips.
You've never seen this.
No.
Where did they air it?
Right after the championship game.
Like on the broadcast?
Yeah.
To be fair, I was falling asleep on the live show, so I went right to bed after.
I'm disappointed in both of you.
I can tell. I'm a little disappointed in myself.
I watched the whole tournament. I don't need to see the rerun.
There you go.
It's a celebration of the whole tournament.
What
All
am I
right.
celebrating? The tournament
Get
sucked.
over it, Brian. Get over it.
Worst tournament in recent memory.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what am I going to celebrate? What am I going to rewatch? What pissed me off for a whole month?
No, it's just like the moments of we've had a whole college basketball season. It's these kids putting their lives on the line every day. Like, I don't
I
know.
know what you mean. I know what you mean. But
Putting their lives on the
I
line.
went.
Yeah, that
I
might have
went-
been an exaggeration.
Yeah, I was done and dusted. All right, NBA, dude. What do we got? Play-ins right around the corner. The Sixers are red hot. I'm fully back in, even though I said I was fully out. And I'm fired up, dude. We haven't seen Embiid going into a playoff like this before.
Speaking of the Sixers, the East may be just as boring as the NCAA tournament was. You have the Celtics with the best record in the league. The Bucks avoided major disaster, even though they have Doc Rivers. That's a disaster in itself. But Giannis went down with a non-contact injury. He's out until the playoffs. And then we were praising the Cavs like a month ago, and apparently JB Bickerstaff is on the hot seat. Cavs are down to the 5 seed, and there's reports saying he's coaching for his job, which is one of the dumbest statements in sports because every coach is coaching for his job. But that's a whole nother rant. But yeah, it's gonna be either the Sixers or the Heat or the Bucks or the Celtics. I don't think the Magic do anything. I don't think the Knicks do anything without Randall. And the worst part is those are going to be the first round's going to be a mixer of those 4 teams going at it against each other. So after that, like who cares?
I got the Sixers going all the way, so I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah, I think the East is just a dumpster fire right now. I don't know where you look in the East and say, yeah, one of these teams can beat one of the top 5 seeds in the West. I don't know what your books are offering people, but if it is offering a team from the Western Conference to win the championship, just lock it in right now. There's nobody on the East that's getting it done.
Until the Sixers do.
Okay.
Sixers Thunder final.
Oh my.
Thunder. Taking the Thunder. That's the matchup.
Have
That'd
to
be
root
pretty
for the
tough.
Thunder.
Brian, if the Sixers made the finals, you would be rooting for whatever team they were playing.
Probably. Well,
What team on the West would you be like if it was Sixers versus a team on the West? What team would you be like, yeah, I'll root for the Sixers because I don't want that team. Like I could see you rooting for the Sixers if it was Sixers Clippers.
I was
yeah,
just going to say
definitely.
the Clippers.
I definitely
Fuck
root
the
for the
Clippers.
Clippers.
You would root for the Clippers?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm rooting for
No,
the
I'm saying
76ers.
you would root for the Sixers over the Clippers.
No, I'd root for the Clippers. That'd be hilarious. James Harden beating the Sixers in the finals.
That would be pretty fun.
I think it'd be even funnier to see the Sixers beat James Harden in the final.
Yeah. Considering Harden's like been closer so many times, and then like
He's
that.
a
Either way, it
career
would be ridiculous.
no ringer.
I don't know if there's a team out there that I would root for the Sixers.
Like the
over.
Warriors, would you root for the Warriors to beat the Sixers in the finals?
Yeah.
Really?
I like the Warriors.
I do too, but like, all right, man, they've already gotten what 3 or 4 titles. Like,
Or
they're good. They're good. What about the Mavs? You would root for Kyrie?
Oh
I know
yeah,
you're a huge
big
Kyrie guy.
Kyrie guy.
Big Kyrie
Unfortunately,
guy.
Ramadan is over, so the Mavs might start taking a step back here.
All right, so give me your final, Brian. Matt, give me your final.
I think I just told you.
He did.
Sixers Thunder.
Yeah, you know I'm the one with the crazy takes.
Okay, Brian, what do you got for us?
Um, as much as I want to take the Thunder for the future. No, you know what?
Dude,
I'll
this
go
guy's a
Thunder.
fraud. This guy's a
I'll go
fraud,
Thunder.
man.
I'll go Thunder.
Absolute fraud.
You're going Thunder?
Yeah, I'll go.
What, like the finals prediction of what teams play or who's winning it all?
Both.
Yeah, it's gonna be Thunder Celtics.
That's like honestly, like I know you're like, I don't want to pick the Thunder, but like that could happen.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see Nuggets Celtics again.
The Nuggets are going to be tough to beat, though.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get the Nuggets. I think the Bucks can make it to the finals if Giannis can come back and isn't injured throughout the playoffs. I think between him and Dame, even though it's the first year together, they're gonna be able to get their way to the final. I don't think that they're gonna be able to get it done though. A lot like how UConn just went back to back. I think the Nuggets might go back to back too. Jokic, he doesn't want to stop partying, man. How he said he doesn't want to do parade. He wants to do parade again.
Yeah, like non delusional. It's going to be Nuggets versus Bucks or Celtics, and then I
think
don't know who's going to win the Bucks or Celtics series. But it's good. Like the Nuggets are probably going out of the West, and then they're going to play the Bucks. Like that's like realistically probably what's going to go down.
I was gonna say, I think dark horse team, which really isn't a dark horse team by any means, when you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. I think the Suns have a good shot to actually take down the Nuggets. There are a lot of good teams in the West. The Nuggets are not a shoe-in for the finals. I do think that they're the front runner. I think the Suns could take them down. I think shooting the ball, Steph Curry and the Warriors on a good night can take them down. OKC, if Shea wants to go for 40 a game, 40, 10, and 10, he could do that. They could go win some games. So I think the West is wide open. The West is going to be more fun than the finals. If I could have it my way, though, it's going to be OKC and Milwaukee.
Yeah, you mentioned if the Warriors can shoot the ball well. I think Draymond Green got inspired by that banger of a WWE WrestleMania. Because against the Lakers, he opened up shooting 5 for 5 from three. He was their best scorer in that game. They beat the Lakers. So if he could do that throughout the playoffs, I mean, they could beat anybody. People forget he had a 30-point triple-double in that Game 7 where they lost the 3-1 lead. He was their best player that night. So if Draymond shows up, you never know.
Could be the difference. Yeah, how can you count out the Warriors?
Can't. I'll tell you, you can count out the Suns. They choke every year. They're already in playoff form. They were losing 35-4 against the Clippers the other day. Started out that game just down like 50. So they're in true playoff form already.
I mean, they took down the Nuggets the other night too, didn't they?
Yeah,
Or am I incorrect? I'm pretty sure I remember watching that game where Kevin Durant took down Jokic and the Nugs in Denver.
Jokic missed the game winner, I think. If I'm thinking of the right game.
It's the regular season, though. We all know 7-game series.
Well, the Suns are fighting for their lives right now. They're in. I think they're in the 6 right now, but they're a half game ahead of the Kings. And if they fall to that 7, they're in the play-in. So they're playing playoff games.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the play-in's going to be pretty ridiculous on the West side. The East side is like, dude, what are the Hawks going to get red hot? Trae Young's going to go off, and it's like, oh, the Hawks sneak in, and it's like they were barely. Are they under 500? Like the bottom of the East, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much just the Heat and the Sixers fighting for that 7 seed to see who gets the Bucks instead of the Celtics.
Which both, like I'm telling you, if I'm the Celtics, we're the Bucks. Like, yeah, sure, they might beat the Sixers, but I was saying on the last pod. You don't want that first round matchup. That is a tough first round matchup that you got to grind through.
The Bucks don't want the Heat either. They lost in the first round of the Heat.
I'm gonna make one bold prediction. I know Julius Randle is out for the remainder of the season, but the Knicks are gonna go on a little bit of run, led by Jalen Brunson. He's going to drop a 50-point game in the playoffs this year, and he's going to win them a couple games.
Couple games or a couple series?
Couple series.
All right.
They're going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's bold. I like that.
I really hope not, because the New York fans are going to just come out so delusional, and it's going to be brutal sight to see.
I mean, hey,
Jalen Brunson for MVP.
Jay Wright will probably be all over those games.
All New York teams have been like so bad recently. I know the Yankees now have started off hot, and the Rangers have been good. They've just been choke artists. But like for the most part, New York sports has been pretty irrelevant.
No, it's been horrible.
But so if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to be the Lululand in the concrete jungle.
Yeah. The Lululand.
Yeah, so obviously NBA play-in bad to start. Going to be an interesting playoffs, and now the actual NBA season starts. As you know, I'm not a big regular season guy, but love the playoffs. Completely different time and season, so that's going to be awesome. But rolling into the NHL playoffs, same kind of season as the NBA. 82 games, runs the same month and time period, and the playoffs start at the same time, right around the corner. I think their season ends on Tuesday. Flyers completely collapsed. I think 2 weeks ago they had like an 84% chance to make the playoffs. Now it's down to 4%. I don't know how you drop the odds that hard in the span of 2 weeks, but they managed to do it. Pretty much a Philly thing, if you ask me, about as Philly as it can get. But the Flyers weren't even supposed to be in that situation to begin with. Carter Hart obviously screwed him over doing his pedophile, whatever bullshit he had going on with his life. So thanks, Carter. And now they don't have a goalkeeper, and they're letting up 7 to 8, 9 goals a game. So the Flyers are in shambles, but not really, because they weren't supposed to be here. So it's a weird dynamic, man. I don't know how to verse it, but yeah, NHL playoffs are here.
Yeah, I know it's kind of hard since we made these future bets mid-season, but none of them are going to miss the playoffs. So that's always good. We're all top half of the conference. Jack, of course, with
Just
the
real quick,
Panthers.
when did we give out those futures so that everyone knows that, we didn't just pull these out of a hat last week?
That was probably January, right?
I think around January seems about right.
I think I gave mine on Selection Sunday.
Yeah, you waited a little bit for yours though.
Yeah. So maybe, Brian, maybe we
February?
gave ours we probably did ours in February then.
Yeah, still a good amount of games left in the season.
Yeah, definitely.
When we did it.
Well, yeah, the Maple Leafs were on a heater, and now they're fifth. So
yeah, they might be matching up with Jack's Panthers in the first round.
That'd be a great little combo to have.
But then, yeah, of course, Matt, you have the Avalanche, and they've been great all year.
They've been good, yeah. I think when I gave them out, they had pretty good juice. I don't know how good the juice is now.
Yeah, they'll definitely have a chance at the end. Hopefully they match up with the Panthers or the Maple Leafs, but I guess we'll see. But the only thing I have for the NHL, you spoke about the Flyers falling off a cliff. The team that passed them in the standings, the Capitals. A -40 goal differential, but they are in the midst for a playoff spot. It would be the worst goal differential for a team to ever make the playoffs since 1992. The now defunct Hartford Whalers had a -36 goal differential. It would be worse than that, which is pretty unbelievable because that seems like one of the sports records that would never be broken. But the Caps are here. Ovi might make the playoffs again.
Yeah, wow. Whatever. Ovi's old. Get him in the playoffs. I don't even care. Flyers aren't supposed to be here. Their time will come in a couple of years.
We always talk about like the Stanley Cup playoffs being that one playoff where any team could win. I guess the MLB has kind of become that now. But can you imagine the Capitals with a -40 goal differential winning the Cup?
No, it's like the Giants being 8-9 and beating the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. Crazy.
They were 9-7. They had a winning record. I don't know if they had a positive point differential. They may not have, but
I mean, yeah, speaking of the NHL or NFL, might as well roll into a little NFL talk before we wrap things up here, right?
The only story I have today, of course, O.J. Simpson is dead. And the main thing I wanted to talk about here, I'm sick and tired of seeing people tweet the Nick Castellanos anytime home run after any kind of person dies or if there's any kind of disaster. We get it. It was funny 2 years ago. There were so many jokes left on the table that you could have said instead of the Nick Castellanos anytime home run. You could have been like, I hope the coffin fits in hell. You could have said, now he can rest knowing his wife's killer is dead. There were so many things on the table that were just left there because everyone's obsessed with the Nick Castellanos anytime home run.
Look, Brian,
Do
we're just a bunch of degens.
I guess
We're just
so.
a bunch of degens. We want to bet on an anytime home run. Leave us alone. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to put some gloves on him in the coffin or not.
See, there you go.
That's a more appealing joke for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you find humor in somebody dying.
Well, he's a murderer.
Did they prove that?
No. But I also
Pretty
won't
sure.
feel remorse when Ray Lewis dies. He killed someone too and got away with it.
I think the Ray Lewis one there was like more evidence that he did that. I guess there was also later in time, like what was that, early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah, statute of limitations is probably up.
Anyway, Hell's football roster just got a little better. Aaron Hernandez and OJ Simpson are going to be slinging the rock down there.
Right down there. That's what it is. You might be able
Some
to
good, weapons. They got some good weapons.
You can escape the justice system, but you can't escape God. Yeah, I mean, the NFL, there's obviously not anything crazy to jump into other than arrest warrants out for Rashee Rice. But we will get more extensive coverage on the NFL draft that is rapidly approaching, and obviously all the interviews and just fun stuff we're going to do for that. So definitely stay tuned. Obviously, the offseason started really hot with the crazy free agency. Eagles made huge splashes. I know Jack just got a guy re-signed. Obviously, probably their best player on defense. So some moves are being made. Giants are radio silent up there in New York, which is always great to see. Other than that, we'll wait and see for the NFL draft to get dialed up. We'll see how badly the Giants butcher their first-round pick. Can't wait to see how that goes down.
Yeah, I can't wait, or I can wait, but we'll see. But the Eagles just signed CJ Uzoma, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
That's a tight end guy?
Yeah,
Why would they sign him?
I don't know. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll even make it through camp, but we'll see. Maybe it can be a nice backup. I don't know, but
Yeah, the last thing I got for the NFL and on the NFL draft, to anybody out there making a mock draft, just stop. Stop playing. Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall. Okay, the Bears did not get rid of Justin Fields and do this whole elaborate, offseason, fiasco with the movements to go draft Drake May or Jaden Daniels at number 1. It's not happening. They're doing it, all right? I understand he was at the basketball game with like the painted nails and the pink phone case, and people are like, oh, this guy's not a real football player. And Chicago Bears fans, some of them bought into that, and they're up in arms. They're drafting Caleb Williams. Move on, all right? The draft, like most years, starts at pick number 2.
Yep.
maybe they're going for Jaden Daniels.
No, they're not.
Right.
Chicago might go up in flames if they don't draft Caleb Williams.
That would be so wild. I honestly don't want them to because I just want to see some crazy shit go down.
Chicago crash and burn.
Yeah, like they just like do something unbelievably ridiculous and like draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, either way, stay tuned next week, and as the draft gets closer, we'll be dialing up a lot of content on that. But yeah, let's get into some MLB talk before we wrap it up.
Your winner of the week, Matt, was the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think that was last week.
Yeah, last week. Well, they had the first 5-0 start, I think, in 40+ years.
Yeah, and they're still doing well. They're 9-3 now, but their 3 losses have all come on blown saves by All-Star David Bednar. So they could feasibly be 12-0, but their closer has a 12 ERA, which is just kind of wild.
Rowdy Tellez had to come in and save him in the post-game interview. He was getting killed by the media, and Rowdy Tellez came flying in and was like, "No, We all have to be better. It's like Rowdy. He's the one who blew the save.
They could be
Like, you
undefeated.
guys were better. You guys were winning the game. He came in and blew it.
Man, they they just don't make them like they used to, man. We don't got no Moes left in the league. No Jonathan Papelbons in there. It's tough.
That's a tough one.
No, there's really not. But, hopefully all the Phillies guys can stay healthy because for my loser of the week was MLB pitchers, and they're dropping like flies.
Speaking of a non-pitcher, so Jackson Holliday made his debut. We should touch on that. The Baltimore Orioles they've gone from the joke of the league to a team that can trade prospects for an ace pitcher. That ace pitcher can go out and shove in his start, and then on the same day, they call up the number one prospect in baseball. A guy that's hitting. Jackson Holliday's on base in AAA. It was only 9 games, but his on base was .490.
Yeah.
He's 20 years old playing in AAA. The Orioles look really good. I don't know who.
I mean, he flew through the ranks in the minor leagues. They had no choice but to bring him up. And then, start 9 games in AAA, bat 330, getting on. I mean, dude, they're just like, fuck it, this guy's ready. But did go 0 for 4, and I think with 3 strikeouts last night. And it was a tough play out there. I guess he was playing second base, but he didn't drop the fly ball. It would have been an over the shoulder catch, but he didn't make the play.
Yeah, it was like a Bermuda Triangle type thing.
Yeah, it was a tough play, but it's a play he didn't make, regardless of it being tough. But definitely leeway, 20 years old, a lot of lights on you, can you say a lot of pressure? Because it's a loaded team.
Dude, there's a lot of pressure on him. Being the son of a former MLB player, former MLB All-Star, you're 20 years old, you're getting called up to the majors. Yeah, there's a lot of freaking pressure on you. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I'll say one thing, Volpe's on a pretty long leash out there in New York. He hasn't really, at least in my opinion, hasn't really impressed through his first year 2 now. Going to get better, hopefully, and see how that works out. So, just give him a little time. Give Holliday a little bit of time. He's 20 years old. He'll figure it out.
Definitely needs leeway. He has all the tools, the mechanics, the look. He'll probably be around for a long time.
Yeah, they got him hitting 9. And it's hard to argue for him to hit above 9 because that team's just so good. So, yeah, he's got time.
I was just going to say, with all the other talent around him, he's going to see, they're not going to pitch around him. It's not going to be tough at bats. He's going to get pitches to hit because, well, you're not going to want to throw it at any of the other guys.
He's also wearing his dad's number 7, which is pretty cool. The very last thing, we had some news today in the MLB. So the Ippei and Shohei scandal seems to be coming to a close. Ippei bet $183 million over the span of 3 years. He was betting 25 bets a day with an average of about $12,000 per bet. Now, it's not known how much of that money he stole from Shohei Ohtani. The initial reports think it's about $16 million. But how are you betting over $100,000 a day, almost $200,000 a day, and losing?
They kept giving him a credit line.
It's unbelievable and he wasn't betting on baseball. The one thing you'd think he'd have, his whole life is baseball. Shohei Ohtani's the biggest star, so you'd think he'd have a little bit of research doing that. This dude was I wrote in the blog today, he was just Billy Bean. He was betting on a game, and he's like, I don't watch the games. He probably didn't even have time to research the teams. What is he doing?
I couldn't tell you. How did Shohei Ohtani not know this money was being lost?
That's another thing that's just insane.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. But the other thing is people who are like, oh, fall guy, this guy's the fall guy. It's like, dude, the federal government and federal prosecutors are involved.
Yeah.
This isn't the MLB's covering up for Ohtani.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, the federal government doesn't give a fuck about doing that.
Yes, they do.
It's the federal government.
The theory got.
What do they care about more than anything else? Money. Who makes them a lot of money?
How are
baseball.
They getting from the MLB?
He admitted to stealing the money in a text with the bookie today. or a text with the bookie from forever ago, but it came out today. That the bookie was like, you're not, it's not like you're stealing this money from Shohei, right? He's like, well, I'm not exactly not stealing it.
Yeah, I got that text too. Yeah.
They have evidence of it being legit, but that was huge because Ohtani dropped in the fantasy baseball draft, and I was able to snipe him up late, and it looks like he's going to be cleared of all accusations. So I'll take it.
Wow.
Yeah, the memes have gone from Betts Ohtani in the on deck circle to Ohtani Freeman in the on deck circle.
Awesome how that lines up. But yeah, I mean, day one was today. Tiger got out there. I don't know how he finished or played the whole round, but I do know on hole number one, he did birdie the hole. Bryson DeChambeau came out like a rocket ship, shot a glorious round. What did he shoot, a 65? Because he was -7 for the day, or 7 under par, if I want to be proper. It's always cool to see those live guys come out there because they want to prove that they're still the top dogs. Yeah, I'm looking forward for them combining them so we get everybody back on the same course. But I'll take all the major tournaments when they're together as what I can get right now.
Yeah, like you said, we'll have a full recap of this on Sunday. But at least the first couple rounds are always nice because you get kind of the Cinderella stories, I guess, and then the guys kind of taper
like
off.
last year, that Sam Bennett guy was in the final group going into the final round. He was paired with the final group because his score was so good. Fell apart, but shit. I mean, he was an amateur. If an amateur wins it, they get $0. So you know that?
No, they can't take the money.
What?
They're not allowed to take it.
Yeah, they're not allowed. They don't get paid, which would be wild.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed.
But you mentioned DeChambeau with his 7 under. He's missed the last 2 cuts at the Masters. He should be.
Yeah, well. And now it's like, the rivalry has always kind of been like DeChambeau versus Brooks Koepka. Koepka is nowhere to be found today.
Yeah, he normally does better towards the end, though. As long as he makes the cut, he'll be in the conversation.
I just want to see Tiger play well and get through the tournament. I mean, oh my God, dude. If he's in the final grouping on Sunday playing for a shot to win it, like, dude, I would golf fans around, it's gonna do numbers viewership wise if he's in that final on Sunday going to try and win a Master. I mean, it's gonna be unbelievable.
Yeah, he's 1 under par through the front 9 right now.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the only other thing I have through day one, Ryan Fox, who was in his first Masters last year, finished 23rd, shot 3 under, which right now, as we're recording, is 4th on the leaderboard. I think I don't even know if he plays on the PGA Tour. He might be a DP
He
tour.
Probably doesn't. He probably doesn't. But yeah, what do you know what his odds were before?
No idea, but they were probably way up there.
I mean, dude, look at Scheffler, man. Scheffler is right there as well. I mean, he's on 6 under for the day, so he's going to be in the conversation. I mean, a DeChambeau, Scheffler, battle on the last day would be pretty electric too. Sunday, we'll know who wins, and we can kind of dive into more of the headlines then. But yeah, fun first day. I know I'm probably going to go watch Tiger play the back 9 after this.
Yeah, and last thing, shout out the Masters, shout out Augusta for not taking inflation into account. They're still selling pimento cheese sandwiches for $1.50.
Still can get a beer for like $4.
Gotta love it.
And just like that, we shut it down. Views from Section 400 podcast, Matt, Jack, and Brian, always bringing you along for the action-packed, uninterrupted sports conversation. Glad you could join us for another episode of the podcast, and stay tuned for everything we have coming up over the next couple weeks, months, and years. NFL draft next week. A lot of fun stuff coming up for that. Guests on the whole 9 yards. Just stay tuned. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. It's all coming on. Champions League. We'll dial that up because we're going to be rolling into the semifinals soon. So stay tuned for that. Arsenal just played the other day and tied or drew 2-2. So that'll be an interesting game when they got to go back to Bayern and play that next week. But as always, it's Views from Section 400. I'm Matt, and I'm out. Peace.
Auburn baseball, please figure it out.
Keep working that scoreboard, buddy.